What's going on, football fans? It's your host, Bad Takes, with Bad Takes in Football, back with another video for you. Gonna dive into what happened in Sunday night's football game between the Detroit Lions and the Kansas City Chiefs. But before I do that, make sure you subscribe to this channel. I'm on my road to my first 100 subscribers. It really helps me out and it's free for you to do. We're building an awesome community here where we can talk everything NFL football. I'm also going to be doing a giveaway, so make sure you subscribe because we're doing a portable Bluetooth speaker that can break into two different pieces. It's going to be a really cool gift to one of those subscribers. Also, make sure you like and comment on this video. Tell me what you think about this last night's game. Is Kansas City the real deal? Let's talk about that and much more. Let's dive into today's video. The Kansas City Chiefs won last night against the Detroit Lions 30-17. And what I can tell you is this looked like the Kansas City Chiefs of old. This was probably the best game we've seen from the Kansas City Chiefs all season. You saw Isaiah Pacheco actually lead the Chiefs in rushing for the first time all season, and Travis Kelce was actually the leading receiver for the Chiefs as well. Travis Kelce caught 6 catches for 78 yards, which was really the possession receiver that they needed. The Chiefs have Tyquan Thornton, Hollywood Brown, and Xavier Worthy as their wide receivers. To me, they're all flashy speed receivers that aren't necessarily the go get a first down type of receiver for you. And so Travis Kelce needs to be the person that will go get 6-7 yards whenever it's needed. The fact that he was able to do that last night was a huge reason, in my opinion, that the Chiefs won this game. I also want to talk about the performance of Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes was 22 of 30 for 257 yards. He also had 3 touchdowns on this game. He added 32 yards and a touchdown on the ground as well. Those are MVP style numbers, and that's exact performance that they needed out of Patrick Mahomes in order to beat the Detroit Lions. Now, on the Lions side, what I can tell you is I was surprised at how much they actually struggled in the run. David Montgomery had a really good yards per average, but he only ran the ball 4 times for 24 yards. That's a 6 yards average carry. Jahmyr Gibbs ran the ball 17 times for 65 yards, and neither one of those running backs got into the end zone. I think one of the biggest factors as to why the Lions lost this game were a couple key penalties, especially one on a 4th and goal where Jared Goff actually went out for a pass after lining up under center. He was supposed to stop for a second before he shifted out, and so they had called an illegal shift penalty on Jared Goff. He had gotten a touchdown on that play, but they had to call it back. And I think plays like that were a huge factor as to why the Lions lost this game. Another big aspect to me is the fact that Amon-Ra St. Brown was a little bit of a non-factor in this game. They did a really good job of shutting him down. Amon-Ra caught 9 passes for 45 yards. So seemingly every single pass he caught, he was getting tackled right away, and they're only for really short yardage. An important factor for the Chiefs coming up is the fact that they actually get Rashee Rice, their number 1 receiver, back after this game. That's going to add a whole nother dynamic to this offense, having much more of a possession receiver. Like I said before, those other 3 receivers are very similar. Rashee Rice is a different style receiver from them, and so it's going to add a whole nother dynamic to this offense that Patrick Mahomes is going to be able to rely on as a consistent receiver. You have to be really proud of this Kansas City Chiefs defense. I think Chris Jones took all the negativity really well after last week's game. Their run defense was really solid throughout the entire game. Like I said, Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery were held pretty steadily throughout this game. The Detroit Lions are now 4-2, and the Kansas City Chiefs are 3-3. These are 2 teams that most consider to be contenders for the Super Bowl. For me, I think you have to be pretty happy with what you saw out of the Kansas City Chiefs. Again, I think this was the best performance they had. It was the most consistent running game they had. The fact that they were really consistent throughout the passing game as well, and it was pretty well spread out amongst those wide receivers, is a good sign in my opinion. And then the Kansas City Chiefs defense, again, they held Jahmyr Gibbs to 65 yards and David Montgomery to 24 yards. Jared Goff, he had a pretty solid game. He was 23 for 29 for 203 yards and 2 touchdowns. So it wasn't like Jared Goff didn't have a great game in this game either. So that says a lot about how well the Kansas City Chiefs played. On the Lions side, they need to capitalize more on the opportunities that they have. You don't get into the red zone as often against a team like the Kansas City Chiefs, and so when you do, you need to put up touchdowns. I'm also going to need to see more out of Amon-Ra St. Brown, especially in big games like this, if you want to be competitive in the playoffs. I myself still think the Lions are one of the top competitors for the NFC when it comes to a Super Bowl contender. At this point, I actually might have it be the Bucks at this point in time. The Bucks are really hot. The Lions are a good team and they have weapons on both the offense and the defensive side. But again, Patrick Mahomes just showed he can do whatever he wants against most defenses, and he did that against the Detroit Lions defense. What do you think of last night's game? Are these two teams true Super Bowl contenders? That's it for me today. I appreciate your time. Thank you for watching. This is Bad Takes with Bad Takes in Football, signing out.